Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this poncho here. Now I don't have a lot of room, but you did see a picture of it there in the front. Now it is a 4-point poncho, so there's 4 points, one in front and back and one on each side. It has this little bit tighter of a collar on it with the ribbing. It's actually very easy to do. It's just really mainly a triple crochet, single crochet, repeat, and as long as you can do front post and back post stitches, you'll have no problem making this poncho. So I think it turned out pretty good. So let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay, for this project I use Loops and Threads Barcelona yarn, which is a Michaels brand yarn. It's a 100% acrylic bulky number 5. Now you do not have to use this brand, but I do recommend using a bulky 5 yarn. There's 328 yards per skein, and I have less than half left of my 4th skein. So if you want to do it like me, you're going to need 4 skeins. If you want to make it bigger or you want to put fringe on it, you're going to need a 5th skein. And the color that I am using is called Arctic, but of course you can use any color that you choose. And then I'm going to be using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. And I want to take just a second to ask you not to forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you look in the description box of this video or any of my videos, you'll see an automatic subscribe button. If you just click on that, you'll automatically be subscribed and you'll never miss any of my updates. Okay, you want to start off with a chain of 72. Now once you get your chain of 72 done, we're going to follow it down without twisting your chain, and we're going to slip stitch into the first stitch to form one large ring, just like that. Now I'm going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch. I'm going to go right back into the same spot that I just slip stitched into and single crochet. And now I'm going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around my big ring. Just like this until I get back to my starting point. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 1 and you should have 72 stitches. Now we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into our first single crochet, not that chain 1 but our first single crochet, and that'll end round 1. Now this is a 4-point poncho, so we're going to be putting 4 points on it. We're going to start off with a chain of 4. Now that chain of 4 is going to count as a triple crochet. Now I'm going to go right back into that same stitch that I slip stitched into, and I'm going to do another triple crochet. And then I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to go back into the same stitch again and work 2 more triple crochets. So there's 1, and 2. So there is our first point. Now I'm going to put 1 triple crochet into the next 17 stitches. So go right into the next stitch and triple crochet. And I want to do that 17 times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I did my 17 double crochets in a row. Now I'm going to put a point in my next stitch. So I'm going to work into the next stitch 2 triple crochets. There's 1, and there's 2, and then I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to work 2 more triples into the same stitch. And now I formed my second point. So again, I'm going to work 1 triple crochet into the next 17 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I did my 17 triple crochets in a row. I'm going to do a point again in the next stitch. So I'm going to work 2 triple crochets. There's 1. 2, chain 2, and work 2 more triple crochets into the same stitch. And that'll be our third point made. Now again, it's 1 triple crochet into the next 17 stitches again. So there's 1, 2, 3. Again, I've done my 17 triple crochets. So we're in the next stitch, we're going to put our last point. So we're going to put 2 triple crochets. Chain 2 and 2 more triples into the same spot. And that'll be our fourth and final point. Now we're going to work 1 triple crochet in the remaining 17 stitches. So there should be 17 that remain. Put 1 triple crochet in each of them. Okay, when you make it to the end, you want to go ahead and slip stitch into the top of your beginning chain 4, and that'll end round 2. So at the end of round 2, you'll have 84 stitches. So rounds 3 and 4 are the repeat rounds for the rest of the poncho. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch to our first chain 2 space. So we're going to be slip stitching 2 times. So there's 1 and there's 2. So we're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch. We're going to work 2 single crochets. It's 1 and 2. Chain 2 and 2 more single crochets into that chain 2 space. Like that. Now I'm going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get to my next point or my next chain 2 space. You want to make sure that you get this very first one, because sometimes it gets hidden underneath these corner stitches. So make sure you pull them back like that, and you got to get that first one. So go ahead and single crochet into that, and 1 single crochet in every stitch until you get to your next corner or your next point. Okay, I have made it to my next chain 2 space, so I'm going to do the same that I did over there. I'm going to work 2 single crochets, a chain of 2, and then 2 more single crochets into the chain 2 space. Now again, I'm going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get to my next chain 2 space. Remember not to forget this first one. Slide those over. So 1 single in every stitch until you get to your next chain 2 space. Made it to my next chain 2 space, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to work 2 singles, chain 2, and 2 more singles. And then I'm going to continue by putting 1 single crochet in every stitch until I get to my next chain 2 space. Made it to my next chain 2 space again. Go right into the chain 2 space and work your 2 singles, chain 2, and 2 more singles. And then continue working, making sure you get that first one. 1 single crochet in every stitch. Until you get to the end of the round. Okay, I'm coming to the end of round 3. I'm at my last 2 stitches. You got a single crochet into the top of them, but it's where we slip stitched, so it's kind of hard, but you got to make sure you get 1 in each of those last stitches. You're kind of working into the top of the slip stitch, so sometimes it's tight. There we go. And now we're going to end round 3 by slip stitching into our first single crochet here. Not the chain one we did, but the first single crochet. Just like that. At the end of round 3, you'll have 16 more stitches than you did the previous round. So you had 84 on the last round. So now you're going to have 100 stitches at the end of round 3. So what we're going to do is slip stitch 2 times to our first chain 2 space. So slip stitch 1 and then 2. Now we're going to start off with a chain of 4, which counts as our triple crochet. And then we're going to work another triple into the chain 2 space. Chain 2. And then 2 more triples into that same spot. This is round 4 we're working on. Now it's 1 triple crochet in every stitch until you get to your next chain 2 space. Remember not to forget that first stitch, because sometimes he hides, and if you don't get him, your count won't be right. So I'm going to work 1 triple in every stitch until I get to my next chain 2 space. Okay, I've made it to my next chain 2 space. Sometimes it's hard to see on the previous single crochet row, so you got to kind of dig your finger in there to find it. But then what we're going to do is do our 2 triple crochets, chain of 2, and then 2 more triple crochets into that same chain 2 space. And now I'm just going to continue working 1 triple crochet in every stitch until I get to my next chain 2 space. Remember to get this first stitch here. Okay, again, I've made it to my next chain 2 space, and we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to work our 2 triple crochets, a chain of 2, and 2 more triple crochets into the same chain space. And now I'm just going to repeat putting 1 triple crochet in every stitch until I get to my next chain 2 space. always just remember never to forget this first one here. It kind of hides. Okay, I've made it to my last chain 2 space, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to work 2 triples, a chain of 2, and 2 more triples into the same space. And now I'm going to work 1 triple crochet into every stitch until I get to my end of my round. Okay, I'm coming to the end of round 4. Now remember, your last 2 stitches are where we slip stitched the previous round. So sometimes it's kind of hard and tight to get into them, but make sure you got to do those last 2. There we go. And now we're going to end by slip stitching into our beginning chain 4, and that'll end round 4. And you'll have 16 more stitches than you did the previous round. So the previous round we had 100 stitches. So now we're going to have 116. So all it is now is a repeat of rounds 3 and 4. So it's a single crochet and triple crochet, single crochet and triple crochet. It's really easy to do. So we'll just slip stitch 2 times to our first chain 2 space. So for round 5, we're going to be repeating what we did on round 3. It's where we chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and we work our 2 single crochets, chain 2, and then 2 more single crochets, just like that, and 1 single crochet in every stitch. Remember to always get this first one. And then you work 2 single crochets, chain 2, 2 single crochets in each one of the chain 2 spaces. And then you just repeat the triple crochet row. So we're just going to keep repeating rounds 3 and 4 until we get the poncho, the length that we want it to be. Remember, every round now will always have 16 more stitches than the previous round before it. Okay, now I went ahead and done, counting that first row of single crochet, I've done 27 rounds. Now you can do as many as you want for as long as you want. So the more rounds that you do, the wider it'll become and the longer it'll become. So whatever, suits you and your body type. But after you finish your last round, I just went ahead and ended with a slip stitch there. You want to end in the round of single crochet. I guess that's not really necessary, but that's how I ended, in the round of single crochet. And I just slip stitched there into my first one and then just tie off. And now I'm going to work around the neck. So what I'm going to do, it's kind of big here, I'm going to go to the back of my work. So you can find the back by where you started. Up here at the top of the neck, here's where we first started, where our tail is from the back of our work. So I'm going to start my yarn again, and I'm going to do a round of decreases around the neck. Now we started with a chain of 72, and I'm going to decrease it down to 60. So you can start your yarn in any stitch that you want. I would just recommend starting it somewhere in here near the back. Okay, now what we're going to do is chain 1, and we're going to put 4 single crochets in a row, and then we're going to do a single crochet decrease. So we're going to go ahead and go right back into that first stitch, and we're going to put a single crochet. So that's 1 single crochet. Go to the next one, 2, 3, and there's 4 in a row. And now I'm going to do a decrease over the next 2 stitches. So the single crochet decrease is worked over 2 stitches. So what I'm going to do is go into the next stitch and draw up a loop. And then I'm going to go into the next one and draw up a loop. And I'll have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to go ahead and yarn over and go through all 3 loops. So that took 2 stitches and made it into 1. Now that's the repeat I'm going to do all the way around the collar. So I'm going to do 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I'm going to do the decrease over the next 2. So I'm going to go into the next one and drop a loop, and into the next one and drop a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and go through all 3. Again, I'm going to repeat it. 1 single crochet into the next 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to do my decrease over the next 2. So I'm going to go into the next one and drop a loop, and into the next one after that, drop a loop, yarn over and go through all 3 loops. So I'm going to repeat that pattern all the way around the whole collar area until I get back up here to the beginning. 1 single crochet into the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then decrease over the next 2. Just like that. Okay, I'm coming to the end of round 1 of our collar. Now I just did 4 single crochets in a row, and you should have 2 stitches left to decrease over. So go ahead and end in a decrease. Decrease over those last 2 stitches. And now we're going to end this round by slip stitching into our first single crochet, and you should have 60 stitches now. Okay, now we're going to work some double crochets for round 2. So I'm going to do a chain 3, which is going to count as my first double crochet. And now I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every single stitch all the way around until I get back to the beginning. So we won't be decreasing anymore. It's just 1 double in every stitch all the way around. Just like that. Okay, I've made it around to the end of round 2 of my collar, and you still should have 60 stitches. You want to go ahead and end with the slip stitch into your beginning chain 3. Now we're going to work some post stitches. So we're going to chain 3 again. This chain 3 is going to act as a back post double crochet. So what we're going to do in the next stitch is work a front post double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, and instead of working your double crochet into the top of the stitch, we're going to work it around the post of the stitch from the front. So you go like that, and now the post is on the front of your hook. And then you just kind of yarn over and do your double crochet like normal. Now the next stitch is going to be the back post double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go around the post of the next stitch from the back. Like that. So now the post is on the back of your hook. I'm going to yarn over and do our double crochet. And that's what we're going to repeat now. So the next stitch is going to be a front post double crochet. So yarn over, go around the post from the front like that, work your double crochet, and then we do the back post double crochet. So we yarn over and go around the post of the next stitch from the back like that. Front post double into the next, and then back post double around the next. And that's what we're going to repeat all the way around. Front post double crochet and back post double crochet. Front post double crochet and then back post double crochet, and go ahead and repeat this pattern all the way around until you get back to your starting point. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 3 of our collar. You should have ended in a front post double crochet, and now I'm going to slip stitch into my beginning chain 3. Should have 60 stitches still. Now for round 4 of the collar, I'm just going to repeat round 3. So I'm going to chain 3 again, and then I'm going to do front post double crochet around the post of the next stitch, and then a back post double crochet. Front post double crochet, and then a back post double crochet. So we're just keeping our posts lined up. Front post lined up with the front post, and then the back post will be lined up with the back post. So I'm just going to keep repeating the previous round. Front post double crochet, back post double crochet. Front post double crochet, back post double crochet, all the way around until I get back to the beginning. Okay, at the end of round 4, you just want to go ahead and end with the slip stitch into your beginning chain 3, and you still should have 60 stitches, and then you want to repeat it one more time for a total of 5 rounds on the collar, and that includes that very first round of single crochet decreases. So you want to just repeat that one more time until you have a total of 5 rounds, counting that first row. Okay, once you make it to the end of round 5, end with the slip stitch into your first or the beginning chain 3. Now you can do it bigger if you want. I mean, that's up to you. This is meant to be a short collar, but if you continue growing it as tall as you want, you can always flip it over and make it like a kind of a tighter neck cowl, turtleneck type thing. That's up to you if you want to do that. But I'm going to stop there, and that's round 5. Now for round 6 of the collar is the finishing round. So what I'm going to do is just do a round of single crochet just to clean up this edge here. So what I'm going to do is chain 1, and I'm going to go back into that same stitch and single crochet, and now I'm going to put 1 single crochet into the top of every stitch all the way around, just to clean up this last round here. Finish it off, I guess. We are, so much neater that looks. So I'm just going to continue working 1 single crochet all the way around till I get back to the beginning. Alright, I've made it to the end of round 6 of my collar of that single crochet round. You still should have 60 stitches, and I'm going to go ahead and end by slip stitching into my first single crochet. I'm going to tie that off, flip the yarn, and I'm going to hide that tail. And that's it. It is finished. Now if you want to add fringe, I think fringe would look nice actually. I'm not going to add any on mine, but you can definitely do that. I think that would look awesome. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. I hope you're able to follow along okay. Please remember, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. There's an auto subscribe link in the description box. You want to go ahead and click on that so you don't miss any of my tutorials or anything else that I put on. And also I'll put a link below to my Bagoday Crochet Facebook page too, where you can post all your crochet items on there. I really like to see them. So until next time, have a good day.